Yo, today we're going to talk about all of the things you didn't know you needed when you first got into FPV. My name is Michael. Welcome back to another episode of Learning to FPV with me. Let's get right into it. Okay, so you've built your first drone, or you've bought your first drone, or you're on the simulator, wherever you are on your FPV journey. I'm a little bit ahead of you, perhaps. And today we're going to talk about all those things that you didn't know that you needed when you got into FPV. So I've been there, I've done that, I've had to pay for all these things that I originally didn't budget for, and today we're going to go through them. Now these things are in no particular order, and I will do my best to link down those costs in the little description, the little bubble that pops up down beneath me, and I'll do my best to link those products down below, so you can hopefully pick the same ones that I did, or you can look for a better version of what I found. I'm not saying I found the best version, certainly not, but these are some of the things that I found that I needed whilst going through the building of my very first drone. Item number one, you're definitely going to need a charger for your LIPO batteries. Not something that I originally thought of when I was budgeting for all my drone parts, but this is something you literally can't do without, because without charged batteries, your drone's going nowhere. So the charger that I got is a Sky RC D100 dual charger, so I can charge two batteries at the same time. I would definitely recommend you go for this one if you have the money. It gives you a whole lot of options. It's Bluetooth connected, it's much smarter, it's safer, and for me that was really the main reason why I bought this. So item number one, get yourself a charger. Item number two, and this may be very obvious, but you're going to need to get yourself batteries, and a few batteries, because your drone, if you buy one, your flight time is going to be like 4 or 5 minutes, and that's you, and it's going to take 45 minutes to charge with the charger that you just got. So I would get a number of batteries that you can fly with. Now this is something that you look at the cost of a battery, it's £18, £20, $20, whatever it is. It's not very expensive, but when you times that through by 5 or 6 or however many batteries you choose on getting, it becomes quite an expensive item or set of items that you're going to need to have in order to enjoy the experience. So item number two, get yourself some batteries. Item number three, get yourself a travel battery voltage checker. This is something super small that you can fit in your pocket, slide into your backpack, bring along with you to check the voltage of your batteries. Now this can come in handy because your batteries are all going to look the same unless you label them. Like I've labeled my batteries, but let's say your batteries aren't labeled, they're all going to look the same, and a little travel voltage meter will help you make sure that you're only using batteries that are correctly charged. And equally, something that you can very quickly check all the voltages on a battery. This will also help if you're planning on doing any parallel charging, because you want to make sure that those batteries are kind of a similar level charge in order for you to do parallel charging. Parallel charging is something we'll get into in another video. I'll link some links down below on how to do parallel charging from other YouTubers, but for sure you're going to need one of these little voltage meters. You could probably do without it, but it's definitely a nice to have. The next thing we're going to talk about is item number 4, and this is zip ties. You're going to need zip ties. They're very, very, very inexpensive. So grab a whole bunch of them, keep them on you, keep them in a little toolkit or bag, or whatever plastic packet that you carry with you on your drone flights. Keep zip ties with you. You'll use them in your build, you'll use them in your repairs. They come in super handy. I've used zip ties now probably more than ever because of this whole drone building experience. But get yourself a pack of zip ties. Nice. Number 5, get yourself some electrical tape, varying colors, whatever you want. Just grab yourself some electrical tape. It'll come in handy, and it's definitely something you're going to need during the building, maintaining, repairing of your drones. Item number 6, get yourself a set of drivers. Now drivers are the screws, the tighteners, whatever you want to call them. A screw set, a driver set that you can use when you build your drone. If you jump onto any drone kind of hobby website and search tool set, it'll bring you down your drop down. I'll link a set down below. The set that I had comes with 6 or 7 drivers. They're metal, they're you know, it's a driver set. I mean, they're not, there's nothing special about them, but if you buy it from a hobby site, these drivers will be specifically made for the size screws and hex drivers that you need in order for you to build your drone. Number 7, you're going to need a set of pliers or clippers. I'm not sure what you call them in your country, but we would call these pliers or clippers. You're going to need these to bend, shape, cut wires and cables. I keep typically 2 of them on me all the time when I'm out flying. It's the 2 shown here. It's long nose pliers and a pair of clippers. The clippers are used to snip wires and cable ties, and then the long nose pliers are used to get reach in, you know, to tighten nuts and bolts that I can't get to with my hands, and equally to hold wires and bend wires and things like that. So go get yourself a set of these, and promise you you'll thank me. Number 8. Number 8, go get yourself a smoke stopper. Now, a smoke stopper, super useful and very important safety feature. More like an insurance policy for your drone. When you build it, you're going to need one of these, but equally having it handy for something like a very hard crash, you know, anything like that where you want to clip a battery and just be doubly sure that you don't have anything shorting, you don't have any water anywhere, you know, or a wire that's bent and touching something else. Get yourself a smoke stopper. They're very, very small. They fit in your pocket. They fit in the side of your backpack, and it'll save you potentially a lot of money in case you have a short on your board. Number 9. You'll need to get yourself a soldering kit. Now, what I did, and probably what I'll end up upgrading, is I got myself a really cheap kind of 30 quid soldering kit from Amazon, which has done me wonders up until now. It is the same kit that I used to learn how to solder on a practice board. I'll link all that stuff down below. The same solder that I used to solder my drone together when I first built it. Come with everything that you essentially need in order for you to build your drone. It'll also come with a multimeter, which if you've seen my build video, which I'll link up here, that's going to be essential for you to checking that your circuitry and your soldering and all your installation is done correctly. So grab yourself a soldering kit. It'll come in a neat little pack, and you can use that pack kind of from now until forever. And if you stay in the drone kind of hobby, then you'll upgrade to a better, more advanced, kind of more reputable solderer, which is what I plan on doing in the future. Alongside that, which is item number 10, or items number 10, is go get yourself some soldering wire, the wire that didn't come with your kit. Upgrade that, get yourself some rosin core soldering wire, and then optional is to get yourself a solder flux pen. If you have rosin core soldering wire, you won't need a flux pen. I've only learned that recently. When I did my drone build, I used both, but if you have rosin core, it essentially has the flux inside that soldering wire, so when you solder, you won't need the flux in order to build your drone or solder any of your joints. Jeez. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my, I think 10, hopefully I counted correctly. Those are my 10 items that I didn't really realize I needed when I started. They weren't costs that I had forecasted for, had budgeted for, so they kind of snuck up on me. And you know, when you're getting into a hobby that minus the DJI system is going to cost you probably like 300 quid to buy the drone and all the parts and the batteries, etc., and then you add on all these other things that you weren't really anticipating for, very quickly you have a hobby that's a little bit more expensive than you were anticipating when you got into it. Now, me personally, I kind of knew this was going to be expensive, and I kind of went all in. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone the DJI route. I would have just gone analog, which kind of has a little bit of a cheaper barrier to entry. But you know, I did it, and here we are, and I'm able to share with you guys some of the things that I think you need to make sure you budget for if you're going to get into FPV droning. So my name is Michael. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, you know, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you found this useful. If you haven't, I'm sorry. Subscribe if you are new around here, and I'll definitely see you guys in another video. So have a fantastic evening, and I will see you another time. Bye-bye.